All right, so we're going to continue working with our negative exponent property, and at a glance I can also see we have our zero exponent showing up, so we get to talk about that property again as well. All right, so first we are going to deal with these exponents on the outside of our parentheses. So remember, everything on the inside gets that negative exponent. Now when you bring it in, you multiply, so a to the -1 times -1 becomes a to the +1 over b to the 2 times -1 is -2 times, we're going to do the same thing with our second parenthesis, bring that in and multiply, so you have a to the -4 over b to the +2 because it's a -1 times a -2. Now this next one, I can bring the 0 into every single thing on the inside, but if you remember, anything raised to the 0 power is going to equal 1, so this whole thing just equals 1, and if you multiply 1 times any of these fractions, you just get these fractions, so that kind of simplifies itself away. Alright, next we're going to multiply straight across. When you're multiplying the same base, remember you are adding the exponents, so 1 plus -4 is -3. Over here, you add the exponents, -2 plus 2 is 0. So for our final answer, a couple things happening. We have a negative exponent, we'll go ahead and move that to the bottom, but here we have b to the 0 power. Remember, anything raised to the 0 power equals 1. So that just simplifies away as well. So you have a to the 3rd power on the bottom. You don't have anything left up top, so we put a 1 right there, and that's going to be our final answer. Alright, next example, we're going to deal with this -2 first, bring that into everything on the inside. So there's 3 bases in there. We have 2 to the -2, c to the -2, and d to the 3rd raised to a -2 power. We multiply and we get -6 over c to the -2, d to the -1. Alright, so this 2 to the -2, negative exponent, let's go ahead and bring that to the bottom. That becomes 2 to the +2 power. Now we have c to the -2 over c to the -2. So the property tells us to go ahead and subtract. -2 minus a -2 becomes +2. And -2 plus 2 is 0, and anything raised to the 0 power is 1. So that simplifies away. Now, same thing with the d. We subtract the top exponent, -6, minus the bottom exponent, becomes +1. So we get d to the -5th. Now, because that's a negative exponent, we can go ahead and put that in the bottom and make it a positive exponent. We don't have anything left up top, so we put a 1 right there. Final answer, 1 over, we can just go ahead and say 2 squared. We know that that is 4. And then d to the 5th.